That one work? No dropped frames. Aha! We are live. There is no background on. What's up, everybody? Hope you can hear me. Press 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Trying to not look like 144p today. Alright, let me see if we can make this exchange pop up here. One's in the chat. What's up, everybody? How's it going? Alright. Sweet, awesome. Alright, let's answer the first. We got some questions up in here. Just want to connect with you guys and answer some questions because I get so very many DMs, and I'm like, I should just make a video for answering lots of these questions that are very similar. I was like, why not just go live? So we got Nito. He says, could you explain what are you going to do with your eHex after launch? I have the feeling that the most are not really into eHex anymore. Well, a lot of eHex is already just staked out for years and years and years, so I don't think that's going to be just going away. Most likely people will continue to stake it because it's kind of like this seesaw. You know, if more people are staking on Pulse version, then there's less APY over there. So then then people will go back to eHex to get it over there. Plus, if we actually are very successful with this sort of side chain action with PulseChain, and we get a lot of adoption, then that's going to reduce the load on Ethereum, which means fees should go down to more reasonable prices. Not ever as cheap as PulseChain, but they should be cheaper that people aren't like, holy crap, I can't even afford anything over here on this Ethereum chain. So, what's up, everybody? How's it going? I'm going to make myself small here because we got some, well, maybe where should I go? Where are we going? We can go anywhere we want to go in this world, everybody. I got some cool things to talk about. If you guys haven't seen my video about I want to be able to see chat. Where's chat? Chat. Oh yeah, I need to make this always on top. There we go. You guys can't see it though. That's fine. I'm gonna try and answer some questions in chat because like I usually try and make a video and I just talk for the whole time and I miss all of chat. So if you guys have good questions, at me in the chat. That makes it easier to see. Don't just ask it without doing the @ symbol and K4K crypto. But don't like spam K4K crypto if you're not asking a good question, hopefully. All right, hey K4K crypto, how long does it take the development of the wallet? How long did it take for MetaMask to be built? You know, good question. I didn't look into how long it took MetaMask to be built, but I do know that we don't have to start from scratch, so that definitely speeds up the process. So, I mean, it's not going to happen there's not going to be a sacrifice before PulseChain launches. There's really scarce details on this in general. We are going to likely use the MetaMask wallet kind of frame before they implemented basically they had this like license where like if you do use our code, you can only use it up to a network using it for up to 10,000 users, which, you know, if you want to scale globally, that's like lol. So you can only use their stuff up until that license was introduced. And then the rest of it, they got to figure out on their own. So probably 6 months to a year, similar to PulseChain. But yeah, that's going to be something super awesome if they can come out with it. Because it scales no matter what. Like, whatever chain is succeeding or doing well, or there's volume on this chain, there's tons of it, ooh, wow. If there's anybody trading through the wallet, that can create swap volume, and then you have like the service fee attached, just like MetaMask, which is like 0.875%, which is like huge. But it's just so seamless, and people do it straight from their phone. They don't have to go into a URL and know how to use like the trade stuff and stuff like that. So people use it. You can see that there's volume on it. I should have brought up the Dune analytics, but yeah, MetaMask does 40 to 50 million dollars. Is it $1 million of volume a day currently during like the bear market, which gives them around like 400,000 to like 800,000 ish. If they get up to like 100 mil volume a day, they're making like hundreds of thousands of dollars a day, like printing. They're just like, thank you, thank you, thank you, across different chains, across different whatevers. And so I just think it's a really good play, like a long-term play, because all the stuff in crypto, you make gains very fast, but it's also a long-term play. So getting into stuff that is going to be around years from now is really good. That's why like these meme coins have like crazy cycles, because they kind of just stick around and they're dead, and then they get some hype in the next cycle and they go whoa, and then it go down to like nothing for a long time, and then whoa. And everything else in crypto that has maybe more staying power, I guess, they kind of do the same thing, but to like a lesser extent. Like, oh, Bitcoin only drops 85%, but Dogecoin drops 95%. But it's kind of tricky because from 85% to 95% is actually like a 50% drop. So you lose another half of your money between there and there. All right, let's see. We got, can Pulsex do a 500x in a year? I mean, it's not impossible. We've seen other coins do it. I'm not going to say, yeah, it's guaranteed. It all depends on market adoption and getting more eyeballs on this stuff. It's like this, we just need to get the word out of these good projects. Like, we have a better product now. Better products can still lose to worse products if they don't get enough exposure. So the product that you like and you think is better than something else, if it's not getting traction because you're not talking about it, everybody has their own responsibility. Like, you can't just be like, oh, why isn't only Richard talking about it? It's like, if you're invested in it and you know it's good, why aren't you sharing it with everybody you know? If it's a benefit to them and yourself. It's like, that's what I'm doing. K4K, what do you think is the best options for incentive token? Richard tweeted about this, asking for ideas. Best options for incentive token. Did he ask that? Option. I'm not even really sure what that question is. What do you think is the best options for incentive token? Oh, you mean? Oh, I see. Like the which pairs should get it? I gotcha. I tweeted. I answered that question. Well, there's some stuff I do want to go over, but I am going to try and answer these questions real quick. Let's get all the ones. Let's see. Do you think we will see anywhere close to 1-to-1 ratios pre-bridge? Oh yeah, that goes right into my next stuff that I want to answer. Oh, chat jumped ahead. Holy moly. Wait a minute. What will people use Pulsex for? Like, why would they buy it? What is the utility? I've never used sushi/pancake, so I have no idea. Blueberry cream pie? Let me ask you, what do people do with Bitcoin? They store value in it, and there's lots of value in holding something that you can transfer without having to beg someone else if you can do it. If I want to trade with someone across the world, I can send them Bitcoin. I can send them Pancake. I can send them Pulsex. They're all different ways of like storing value. That's it. That's like what these things are. They're basically money. It's uncensorable. Very hard to censor, so it can be mitigated, but there's like workarounds and stuff. It's just better. It's what crypto is. Like, all cryptos have these properties. Like most cryptos. You can't say all, because some do have counterparty risk where they can turn off your coins at any time, but you can choose which ones you want to participate in. And then you're like, well, what makes the price go up? That's up to people buying. That's up to less people selling. Whatever mechanics you can implement into the coin that encourages more buying and less selling usually equals better price performance. Now, if you can get buying pressure through either providing a better product than other stuff, Like, PulseChain is a better product than Ethereum. You have less wasteful spending on the gas transaction fees than Ethereum, and it has all the same code. All the same code over here for all the coins. All the same stuff can work over here that works on Ethereum. It's just faster and cheaper over here. That's pretty sweet. Maybe owning part of that network is good in the future if more and more stuff gets built on it and you will always need Pulse to transact on the network. So people anticipate into the future, hey, this might have more value in the future. Okay, then you buy it, pushes the price up. More people think the same thing, push the price up. All right. Eroy Slade. Let me read this. We got Nito. K4K, a really big and interesting topic for me is the free copy. I invested 20K. I wouldn't go around telling everybody what you invested, and split it up into Hex, USDC, USDT, and DAI. Could you please share your thoughts on this move? I mean, I'm not going to give you financial advice, buddy. Never on this channel. But, wow, why is it up 2x today? Pulse versus Pulsex, nice. All right. This is just testnet, by the way. Mainnet is not live, everybody. The free copy. Okay. You may get a free copy of those stablecoins, but I don't see those stablecoins keeping parity. I don't see them keeping parity. Why? Because if you can swap it guaranteed for the other one that does have redeemability, I'm talking about like USDC, I think, does Tether have redeemability? Like you can get one Tether is $1, maybe on Bitfinex or something. But if one just has this extra property where you can actually get a direct redeemable $1, like even though it's a counterparty, they claim that they'll always give you $1 for it. If one of the tokens has that and the other one just doesn't, why would that other one ever be more valuable than or the same value as the one that just has an extra property that can be redeemed? I just don't think that that's going to be the case. Like I don't think I don't think that it maintains parity for those stable coins. And I do want to get into this a little bit. Let me see. So, and the thing about stablecoins is people talk about parity and whatnot with like say eHex and pHex. You're like, oh, well, they'll reach parity, and then I've actually doubled my USD value in a way, or doubled your coins at least. And sure, it's possible that could happen for the dollar coins, maybe, but you're not gonna see more appreciation on the dollar coins higher than a dollar, because they're pegged to just be maintaining a dollar value. Like they're pegged down. Hex on PulseChain could go higher than Hex on Ethereum. There is no ceiling. So ERC20 coins that don't have artificial pegs to an inflationary fiat currency that loses value constantly. Anyway, I don't know why you'd want to hold that stuff except for like a little bit. Yeah, it's not going to be able to appreciate past its dollar point. So you're like immediately capped in its potential. So I think the best thing, in my opinion, to get pre-fork is Hex, and it's not just because, like, and I have reasons for that. Like, you want to get something that is most likely to succeed on the Pulse chain the most, like, will actually maintain its value. Now, you don't know which communities are going to come over and adopt Pulse chain more than on their Ethereum counterpart. I know that Hexicans plan to use Hex on Pulse chain. Like they're the most likely community to maintain value for that coin over there. So getting a copy of something that people are going to value a lot, because you know the community is behind it, because like Richard Hart created all these coins, it's the most likely one, in my opinion, to actually maintain its value or be higher than the original ERC20 you had. So the only reason I see for people picking anything else is because they want to drain the free Pulse liquidity that's created by the AMM bot. And you're just not very likely to be the one to execute that trade. And first off, like to be the first one to get that best ratio. Like say for SHIB, for example, if you look at like SHIB, ETH, let me hear. So SHIB ETH here. I know this isn't all of their liquidity, but there's about 9.35 million total liquidity between these two things here. So on PulseChain launch, the AMM bot's going to go in here. It's going to 1,000,000x this Ethereum, and that's how much Pulse is going to be in the pool roughly. Okay, it'll get some more from SushiSwap and add that in too. There might be slightly more liquidity, but it's going to be at this ratio. Except the Pulse chain will be 1 million times the amount of Ethereum there. And so that works out to be, for the SHIB pool, if you were to hold a bunch of SHIB pre-fork, you would have a pool created and held by the AMM bot on Pulsex, and it will have 1.34 billion Pulse in it for you to dump your copied SHIB into. And so what you would need to get half of the pool of the 1.34 billion Pulse in there is you'd need half of the, or you'd need, let's see, you'd need exactly, like, you see how much SHIB is in here? 223 billion. That's how much you would need to remove half of the Pulse on that pair in Pulsex, because that's how it works. If you double one side, you remove half of the other side, quadrupling the price. So, like of the one that got removed, that one is now 4x the price of the other thing. So you would, and I looked up the price of 223 billion SHIB. It also, you can just figure it out by having the total value locked there, because each of those makes up half of that total value locked. So about like $4.6 million worth of SHIB. If you have $4.6 million worth of SHIB, 223 billion, you get it all copied over, you can withdraw around 650 million Pulse chain. For technically, that's your free airdrop. So for almost $5 million of ETH value, like Ethereum chain value, you can only withdraw $65,000 worth of value from the free Pulse chain airdrop. That's how much that person could withdraw from that pool if they dumped all of their SHIB in one order. Their copied SHIB. Because I'm using the Pulse chain, because this is pre-bridge, right? So there's no dollar value yet. So technically, the only dollar value you have to go off of is 10,000 to 1, which was the sacrifice prices for each Pulse and Pulsex. So if you the way you get that is if you 1.34 billion Pulse times 1/10,000th of a dollar, that equals $65,000. If they were to be like, if they sacrifice $65,000 roughly, because I'm not counting bonuses and stuff, that's how much that would have cost to get 650 million Pulse. But they can get it for free because they had a copy. But now how many guys can do that? Once that guy dumps the value of SHIB that much and pushes the price of Pulse up relative to SHIB, then the next guy who does it gets a worse deal, worse deal, worse deal, worse deal. So there's only so much in there. They can't just like dump it forever. And so them dumping their PRC20s they got for free, like if you're not the first guy to get that best rate, then you're just kind of, missing out. Oh no, I missed a guy's freaking thing. Oh, no, there it is. Whew. All right, let me read this. Hope that answers your question. I would hold Hex over anything else going into the fork. And some people are like, well, what about these edge cases where there's lots of Ethereum in the pool, and so the AMM bot's going to put lots of Pulse in there? And it's like, still worse, in my opinion. All right, Melvin Fish Trousers says, when you pull up your address at prc20s.com, why is it saying the value is like 3 cents per Pulsex right now? I think it's just pulling from maybe Pulsex or something. I haven't talked to Victor exactly how it's working. But yeah, prc20s.com, guys, is an awesome website that we can basically share with other communities once PulseChain launches. You basically plug in your ETH address. If you had any ERC20s in that address, it tells you how much your USD value is airdrop wise over on the Pulse chain. So it's a great way to get people onboarded and like, whoa, I actually have $5,000 over on Pulse chain, or maybe it's 50,000. Who knows how much they got? But it's a great tool. What are your thoughts on Maximus? I haven't done it myself. I don't know. Maybe it's cool. I just that type of stuff, like all those other extra chains. It's like, is it necessary? Do you need to get extra smart contract risk? I don't know. I think it's like you don't have to spread your risk like everywhere. Obviously, people saying Maximus is cool, I doubt they put all their money into it, but some people will do that because they're trying to like min max and they think that's the best thing. But if that thing ends up getting rugged or something like that, then you're depending on that team's abilities to make it right. And if anything goes wrong with the normal Hex contract, who's more likely to make everything right for everybody? Not that it's up to Richard and he has to do that, but he just seems like the type of guy who would be like, yo, I know what to do. We're going to fork out whatever that problem was, and then we'll be on our merry way. And he has the team that can actually execute that. Now, it's fairly unlikely that ever even happens because they coded it so well and got so many audits early on before it even launched. So I don't think it's necessary to do this extra contract risk. I do consider that whenever I make my financial decisions. So yeah, if you guys haven't seen, let's see. We got Black Eagle says discuss pre-bridge ratio swapping strategies with PRC20s and vampire attacking methods to bring more liquidity back to Pulse chain. Yeah, I got some stuff to say about that. I did mention that, I would recommend going with the most guaranteed communities that are going, like the coins and their communities that are going to come to Pulse chain. If you can guess another community that may come and stay and provide value to Pulse chain with their tokens, with their purchasing power, and they're going to buy up their PRC20 version, then that might be an underdog potential you can pick, but you're risking it. What we do know is like all Hexicans are totally on board, so I'm going with Hex. It's the most likely one to outperform the Ethereum side, I would say, versus all the other ones. Which means if you get a copy of that, you double your coins first off, and then it may outperform the first coin you had. So it's like, that seems amazing. Every other coin, I'm not that confident in. I don't see this ravenous zealot-like community behind all these other stuff, and they like Pulse chain. That's a rare combo. We may see it once more people find out about Pulse chain and they're like, wow, this is actually awesome. But I don't see any like that currently. So it's hard for me to recommend other PRC20 or ERC20s pre-fork, Anyway, good to see everybody. Just going to shout out some people. We got Nayo, we got Rich Wealth, we got HexLab, Joseph, SF, Coin Traffic, Murky, Heinz Crypto, Red Squirrel. He's got the biggest, what do they call them? Diagrams I've ever seen. I'm like on ultra wide screen, like trying to read what are the opportunities here? But it's pretty cool, I guess. Some people like to look at those things. That helps their brain work it out. There's a lot of options and avenues to take with regards to all the different coins that are out, and lending and different staking pools, what to do with your profits and stuff like that. Like it does help to have like some roundabout plan about what you plan to do. What are your thoughts? I already did that one. Testnet Pulsex price. People like, what's happening here? Oh, okay. Don't need anything to double their Hex when Pulse let people look profit and come down and do this. See, I think I was about to make a video on we so many people are stuck on this thought of if I don't if I'm not trading constantly, I'm missing out. Like, oh man, that this coin went up 10x today. Wow, if I just was searching harder, I'd find it. What you find is you probably wouldn't have found it, but you would have spent all your time and all your efforts and all your energy finding something that most likely would get you wrecked instead. And that's usually what most people's experiences in trading and doing research constantly and not living your life. When really your crypto should just be an investment portfolio that maintains value or accrues value over time. But you have to find the projects that are here for long term. Like you hear people about like these pump and dump groups and stuff. That was a big thing in 2017. It's people who have influence and they have like first they have 50 followers, then they have 100 followers, and then they tell their followers, "Hey, I think this is a good coin." Meanwhile, they've bought a week ago when it was dirt cheap. They get 50 other followers to jump on. Then the last guy who's new to the group comes in, he buys the top, and then he's like, and then they all sell down on him. That's the pump and dump group. And then he joins because he's like, well, if only I knew sooner. It's like, if the guy's telling you about it, you're not early. Now, these coins that we're talking about, we're getting in before it's even launched. Like, we're sharing, us in the crypto Hex community are telling people about this stuff before it's even launched. It's the, like, and we plan to hold this stuff for years and years and years, unironically. Like, we're not trying to trade it all day one for a 2x. Ooh, I 2x my money. What's the next new coin that you can get in at ground zero and then 2x your money? It's like, this stuff, people who bought the top of Ethereum on day one at $3 when it launched, people who bought at $3 probably are pretty happy nowadays now that it's above $3,000. You know, buying the top in crypto is very hard to do for a long time. Like, as time goes by, it just destroys everything. You just have to hold, and like that's why people who are in the Hex community are like not really worried about these dips in Hex. We're like, oh look, we've dipped 85% before, we've dipped 76%. Oh, and then we make new all-time highs. All-time highs happen constantly in crypto. It's just that we've had this, but it's basically a bear market because it's like 6 months or something for Hex not having a new all-time high. That's pretty new. Bitcoin is down from its high for like a whole year. So if this is your first experience getting into crypto, you're like, oh man, the only way to make money while it's going down is to trade more. No, it's not. It's to buy it as it's dipping and you hold it long term. That's how people make money in crypto. Can you please explain the burn feature, like what was actually happening? Is the liquidity fees being burned through Pulsex? Yeah, sure. So the buy and burn, here I can even show you a transaction here. To do connect wallet. All right. So let me make myself smaller. Okay. This is just a testnet wallet, guys. Don't be like alarmed. Okay. So there's a buy and burn right here. I'm trying to make it big enough for you guys so you can see. And it has these, it'll only show the ones that have enough that won't like revert the transaction. And so you can select them. See, now if I choose to burn this, I get 106 Pulsex, which is about $2.45. And it's going to cost me way less than a penny to run this transaction because I only pay the gas costs to run this. Now, what's this do? It's going to burn 106,000 Pulsex, and I get to keep 106 of it. Confirmed. It's already done. Amazing. I guess maybe I have to refresh the page for it to show for you guys. Or did it do it? That's been sent to my wallet. Nice. Nope, it's done. So yeah, that's like this. It's a public function. It buys and burns it. There's no like guy who has to wake up and like do it, and you hope he does it. Let me see what FreePulse.io says. Talk about I'm. He wants me to talk about their other coin that they launched, but I mean I haven't looked into it. It's just like another meme coin or something. Um, Literally anyone can make a boilerplate meme coin and be like, hey, it may have value, it might not. You guys can like mess around with that stuff if you want, but I mean, making cryptos and like getting people who trust you to go buy it and you don't, I don't know. I know meme coins can do well, so I won't bash it too hard, but yeah. I like stuff that is actually making new and innovative stuff and facilitating, market needs, market wants. And, I guess you could argue market wants meme coins, but is that making people's it's not like it's building a layer one. It's not like providing a DEX which has utility. It's or a wallet with a coin. Like, why not build that stuff? Because Richard could have just made 5 meme coins in a row. Is that what he gets credit for? No, it's because he's like really building out crypto, pushing the limits. Okay, can you please? Oh, the buy and burn feature. So yeah, what it does is all trades on Pulsex basically there's fees collected by the liquidity providers. They get around like 3/4 of the trading fees that go through those pools, and the 1/4 basically gets separated and moved into this contract. Whenever liquidity is added or removed in the pair, it moves all the collected fees in the form of LP tokens. Then it moves those LP tokens into the contract, and then the contract will separate and sell those coins after it's separated them into their LP like coin equivalents. So it burns the LP tokens, creates the coins that it represented, then it sells them, and then it sells them to purchase Pulsex only. So it goes into Pulsex and routes through Pulsex pools by selling down whatever tokens it was to buy Pulsex. And then it will burn the Pulsex after it buys it. And it's just the platform purchasing it by anyone else purchasing and selling other stuff on the DEX. So if people are buying and selling Shiba Inu coin all day, they're like, I want SHIB. No, I want Pulse. I want SHIB. No, I want Pulse. No, I want SHIB. No. So now there's a bunch of SHIB and Pulse in an LP token form. That gets moved to the contract. Someone runs the burn contract function. It separates that LP token into SHIB and Pulse, and then it sells those two for Pulsex. And then once it owns the Pulsex, it then just sends it to a burn address. So people trading anything on Pulsex are inherently buying Pulsex token itself. Even if they don't like Pulsex, they're buying it. So you might as well hold the stuff because it's like you own part of the revenue stream of the liquidity providers without having the risk of being a liquidity provider, which is impermanent loss. So it's a very good deal, I think, to hold Pulsex. Oh no, the chat is going crazy. Crypto BD says, is there any way to prevent a bot from doing the buy and burn and to only allow manual users? I mean, they did make it so that only EOA accounts, not contracts, can run the buy and burn function, but anyone can set up a bot that clicks buttons on a screen or something like that based on data, outside of the blockchain and stuff. So you're not going to get rid of botting of it. So it's most likely going to be like, if it's worth 5 cents for someone to run it, it's going to be run. So it's not really a function that the everyday user goes in and is like, you know what, I'd like $2 and I'll go and do it. It's going to be like constantly at like 10 cents or less. Like if you want to see it working in action, let me get a pancake swap here. It's not exactly the same, Let's switch to Binance Smart Chain. Oh, cancel that. All right, let me see here. Is it in the earn area? Pools, perhaps? There's like an auto. Where is it? Let's take cake, earn more cake. Is this the automatic one? Wonder if the farms? They used to have this button at the top that was like buy and burn. Pools. This is the auto distributed. Recent cake profit. C token. Well, I guess they just don't show it anymore. Oh well. Well, there used to be a button up here that was you could click it and it would do it. Maybe it's somewhere, but I'm not gonna like spend much time on it. Anyway, it would show you constantly kind of like this how much you could earn, and yeah. Oh, where'd my chat go? Chat. My chat. Oh man, gotta find it. 1 second, guys. I have some other. Oh yeah, I'm gonna talk about pre-bridge trading. So if you're interested in that, I'm gonna explain some stuff so people don't get wrecked early. Because some people are like, "Oh, I'm gonna trade 3-to-1, 5-to-1, my my Pulsex for Pulse," and I'm gonna tell you why that might be a terrible idea. And hopefully, I can explain it in a good, understandable way. Oh, here we go. Is it not there? Where is it? Oh. It wouldn't pop. It's supposed to be always on top. It wasn't always on top. Okay. Repulse says he's bored, honey. Hey, you don't have to stick around. You're just gonna miss out. So pre-bridge trading. A lot of people want to know what's the best strategy. Like, First off, you guys need to learn how to use the bridge and everything. For sure. Oh, not on BSC. Let's switch that. All right. So here is how I'm going to break it down. If everybody already spent, say you spent $1, that's all you did. You sacrificed $1 for PulseChain and $1 for Pulsex. Guess what? You got the same amount of each token. So your cost basis is the same on each one. So if on pre-bridge you were to trade for 5-to-1 ratio, that means you're immediately taking a 80% slice. Like you're locking in that loss as if you, because you're removing, like you're losing 80% of your value because now you're saying 5 of this is only worth 1 of that when you paid $1 for each already. So you're instantly locking in minus 80%. So imagine you pay $1 for an apple and $1 for a banana, but then you just instantly turn around and you're like, wait a minute, this apple's only worth 20 cents and that banana's still worth $1. That's what you're doing. You're going, I paid $1 for this, but I'm instantly devaluing it by 80% each, and then you're trading it for something else. So if that was the case, like, why would people even, like, if that was actually the value, then people who already got Pulsex would have been like immediately wrecked or something. But it's not the case. You'd have to lock in a loss to do that trade. Now, what this also means is, like, from crypto to crypto, you can have a very, very similar ratio, especially when everyone kind of bought at the same price. So, but their USD values can still go up astronomical. So if Pulsex does 100x and Pulse does 100x, their ratio could remain 1-to-1 the entire time against each other. because they're both crushing the dollar at the exact same rate. Sack says, good stuff, K4K, tacos and kisses. Thanks, SAC. Also, yeah, Pulsex, and Hex are, in my opinion, the top 3 coins to hold. Like, just peace of mind wise, when you find the guy whose his whole goal is to make the best crypto possible, and he knows what makes them appreciate, and he knows that all they're good for is appreciation and censorship resistance, Richard Hart knows what crypto's good for. He knows what a good crypto looks like. So no one else was building what crypto should look like, so he was like, I guess I have to build it. I'd rather do longevity research and start my longevity incubator and get political and fix all this censorship stuff, but I have to do crypto first because it's that important. That's how important this stuff is to him. It beats out his, like, have you seen his earliest YouTube videos? He just posted one. He cares about getting the right ideas out into the world and people living their best lives and living the longest life possible. Now, crypto can, in one way or another, facilitate that, because if you open up people's freedom to actually transact with one another without these middlemen who can shut off your bank account and turn off your transactability, which means you can't afford food because your bank's turned off, or you can't assemble because you can't ride the bus to the meeting, you kind of lose all of your rights if you don't have the ability to transact. So fixing and making the best cryptocurrency that's censorship resistant enough and has price appreciation so you're not getting wrecked by inflation is like the most important thing in the world right now. So he's making the most important things in the world right now, and that's the guy who I am going to put my money with. Now, it's not like Richard owes me money or any work or anything. I just believe this guy has a vision, and the stuff he's creating is decentralized enough that no government can come and just shut it down. Once it's launched, the stuff's launched. You can't, like, just turn it off. That's censorship resistant. It doesn't matter if one entity owns a large portion. Doesn't that just mean that they are the most in? Like, they're like, I really want this to work out because it will really pay off for me. That's the person you want working on it. So Richard is building out these best cryptos, the best performing stuff. They have the track record. And once he has these projects launched and they work great, oh boy, do you know how many people are going to want to work with this guy? He's already got like 2 teams of 5 or more of like solid devs. And you just keep getting more and more exposure after you have like track record, crushing it. Like, the guy has to constantly say it because nobody gives him the credit, so I'm giving him some credit here. Good stuff, K4K. Oh, I already read that one. K4K, here's to K4K doing one more video a week. Yes, probably should be doing that. Yeah, I had a little hiatus the last 2 weeks or so, but I'm back, baby. Anyway, you gotta learn how to use the bridge if you want to transfer your ERC20 value into PulseChain. So if there's no direct fiat on-ramp that you have access to, even once the bridge opens, if you don't know how to use it, guys, you're going to be behind everyone else, which means all of those pools that have those high APYs for staking or farming, you're going to be late to the party because you might take hours extra, days extra to figure it out. Or worst case, you lose money trying to use the bridge and you don't know how, and you're wasting money on fees, or you send it to the wrong place. So I made a video showing you guys how to use the bridge at pulseramp.com. If you want to check that out. I have videos showing everybody how to basically farm, do pooling, trading, provide liquidity, ramping. It's important stuff to learn. But yeah, if it's hard, that means there's opportunity and value there. Like, advice and stuff that everyone already knows isn't that valuable anymore. It's like, how much money can you make telling somebody they need to brush their teeth? Everyone already knows that information. So this is like actual hard hard to find information. How many videos are out there showing you how to use a bridge in cryptocurrency? Not very many. 5MS says, can you debate one of these people on a live stream who think Pulsex has no chance of performing price-wise as well as Pulse? I see L1 greater than L2. Well, I don't know what that's like a non sequitur. L1 better than L2. Pulsex isn't an L2, but I can see. I mean, it's not. I don't think it's worth our time to spend it debating people what we think is going to perform better, other than for like clout, I guess, and people's entertainment. I'd rather spend my time onboarding as many people as possible and trying to reach into like new crowds. I want to get some new computers and then start streaming on Twitch and kind of maybe move up the hierarchy on there, get in like, cause those people, there's just lots of streamers over there that get insane viewership, and I can just tell that they don't know what they're doing like with their money that they're making over there. Like they kind of just do it just to entertain. So I'd love if we could, if someone could get in there and kind of get started becoming friends with them, you know, building strong bonds with people with that amount of reach. If you can get those types of people who already reach a large audience to have better ideas, better views, and understand what's important, then they can impact hundreds of thousands, millions of people. So I would like to do that, other than debating people inside the community who want to say one's higher than the other. Thank you for reminding me to brush my teeth. $20. Thank you, Oaksmith, Jerry Oaksmith. Very much appreciate that. JM says, what happened to the gang theory? Also, how's the headband going? Headband. Oh, I never got it. I didn't get it. That was pretty funny. But yeah, we did it for a month. Like whenever Maddie in Vegas, he like pulled me into the boardroom and he was like, "Hey, what do you think about starting up, you know, a little game theory gang?" I was like, well, I don't like to do kind of guaranteed scheduled content that much, because then even if nothing's going on, you have to like sensationalize everything, and it's kind of like how news becomes sensationalized over time, because every day they have to talk about something, and it's like they can't come on and be like, yeah, there's nothing really going on, so how's your day, Bill? They can't really like do that, so they're like, they try and stir up stuff, and it becomes like this big drama show. And not that our show was drama-y, like I'm sure we had some good value to share, but it just wasn't what I told him then and there, the day that I was like, yeah, we'll try it out. I just don't know how long I would like to do that. We'll see how it goes. And, you know, it just seems too long for me. I'd rather do like a short show, or if anything, because then you can cover the actual new stuff that people want to hear about, and keep it high value, high signal to noise type stuff. Like I barely like doing live streams because I feel it, I don't know, it's not as evergreen content. Like people, like I love doing it and connecting with you guys and sharing my thoughts, and sometimes I can reach a lot of people who are asking questions, and I can reach them and answer some questions throughout the stream without having to make a dedicated video with just like some basic question stuff. But like, how many people will go back and rewatch like a live stream? Not that many, in my opinion. But they will watch a really well-built video that's specific and evergreen type of topic. Like, why should you get into crypto? Well, that's going to be useful for 10 years, you know? So, yeah. I want to make stuff that's good for 10 years, but, you know, the other stuff is great as well for its own reasons. All right, we got Balliot Brand. He says, appreciate all your work and information, bro. 3 exclamation points. Thank you, Balliot Brand. I really appreciate you, man. I saw you on Jim Rat Crypto stream, another cool guy in the community, and Adam, no, wait, something Stolt. What is his name? Sam? Samuel, maybe. But yeah, they're awesome. I love that they're doing a fitness challenge, and you know, I could gain some weight. I gotta. I would love to eat better. I would. It's just, man. It's not that I eat bad, but I know I could eat healthier stuff like regularly. But I would love to just make it so easy and not like I don't want to have to research constantly. Like I just want to be like, this is what I get at the store every week. This is what I eat every day, and it's super healthy. That's what I want. So, and I want to do it, as cheap as possible. Cognitive Living Room says, "Hey Colton, I have another version with pre-bridge ratio trading." Version? Oh, maybe a question. If I missed Pulse SAC, but I invested Pulsex SAC, I received lots of free bonus that I could swap to Pulse, so I received free Pulse even with. I mean, it's like if you consider your bonus free, then yeah, that makes sense. But like, I don't know, dude. I would just invest new money. No financial advice ever on this channel, but I would use new capital to get it, but I understand that you can't get your new money in to the chain until the bridge. If it's like new dollars, you'd have to have purchased some ERC20 before the bridge or before the launch to get a copy that you can then trade that for Pulse. I would recommend, getting Pulse. I mean, getting Hex, and then that will probably run up leading into PulseChain launch, is my guess. It's the most likely one to just like pump into PulseChain because people are like, oh crap, I'm gonna get a copy. Oh crap, Hex is the best one to get a copy of. Oh crap, I'm late. Oh, is it gonna go down? Oh, it's not going down. So that's usually how it goes. It's likely to, I would say, dump after mainnet launch, like Hex, because it's buy the rumor, sell the news event. People are buying it in anticipation of other people buying it in anticipation of the launch, and then once it launches, a lot of people, once the bridge opens, in my opinion, are going to be selling their Hex, eHex, for they're going to sell it for either other tokens on the Pulse chain that they think are cheap, and then that's going to like push down its ratio versus other coins, which then eventually hits it in the USD. So yeah, I think it's a good buy, especially at these prices, like 13 cents, and we seem to have found this like 10-cent bottom. Maybe there's one more fake out or so, but we'll see. But yeah, like it's like if someone gives you a cupcake, like you buy a cupcake and they're like, hey, we give you one free. You have two cupcakes. It's not like you could trade your extra cupcake if you don't consider it valuable for something else. So that's one way to look at it, I guess. I also think of it as like you halved the cost of that first cupcake, because you got two that price. So you could just keep it all, and then you consider it that you got a lower cost basis for it. So thank you for all. Nito says, thank you for all the help at K4K. My last question is, for swapping the PHEX copy, is it better to swap pre-bridge or after PHEX raised in price and achieve parity? Are you assuming it's going to raise in price and achieve parity? Okay, for swapping the PHEX copy, is it better to swap pre-bridge or after PHEX raised in price and achieve parity? I mean, parity is not guaranteed, so I mean, waiting is risky too. Yeah, I don't know, man. Before or after? Let's see. Like, are people gonna be buying a bunch of Hex, like eHex, on Pulse Chain launch, or are they gonna be selling their Hex for Pulse and Pulsex? I think I anticipate more selling of the eHex or eHex. Possibly more buying of PX copy. I don't know. These are questions that are like, what will the market decide? K4K, and it's like I could make a guess. You can. I'm trying to think if there's not really many scenarios I can think of this specific thing happening in the past. Of like, oh, what happened the last time everyone got a free airdrop of every ERC20, and what happened to the ratios and pairs, and which ones reached parity? How did it work out last time? It never happened before. so when it hasn't happened before, you kind of you gotta. I mean, I think it's just holding the ecosystem coins and accumulating with new fiat as like a savings account. It's like this stuff is likely to perform. Look at all this infrastructure being built, all from the same team with this awesome track record of, hey, I'm going to call the price prediction 2 years in advance, and look, oh, it did it in 1.5 years. It's like, that's the team. I'm going to buy their coins until they stop performing. It's like, if PulseChain, like if Hex just like only went down and no one made money, you'd have way less belief in how well PulseChain would perform. That'd be a bad track record. But we got the guy who calls the price prediction of how well it's going to do. He's right. That's the guy who's creating PulseChain. So what do you expect this project to do? More likely to do better, in my opinion. And so, yeah. Appreciate your thoughts. Are you a fan of Maximus? I already answered that. It's like extra smart contract risk. Meh. Like when you're locking stuff up for years and years and years at a time, you really got to trust, the team. And we've already got 2 years of battle tested stuff, and for just Hex, seems fine. Already sending stickers. It's a dog. Dogecoin, nice. All right, I do have some more stuff to talk about. Let's see here. Oh, I got some people that want to see me today. Oh, that's the wrong paper. Yeah, so, let me reiterate my pre-bridge trading idea. So, people who want to trade multiple Pulsex for Pulse pre-bridge. This means there's no USD values involved yet. The only USD value we can derive is that everyone paid $1 for 10,000 of each of these. So they should have the exact same price, okay, in USD terms. So people who trade, like, even if you do 2-to-1, say you did 2 Pulsex to 1 Pulse, you're having the value of your sacrifice immediately out of the gate. So you're saying, wow, I only got 5,000 Pulse for $1 if you're trading your 2 Pulsex for 1 Pulse. So that means Pulse had better do 2x USD value to counteract how much you lost, and you only broke even at that point by you initially trading pre-bridge. It's just super risky, especially since everyone has the same base price. So people trading are immediately taking a loss. It's pretty significant if you consider the numbers. Like, that's pretty bad. If you're doing 5-to-1, you're down 80% on your dollar instantly, because it means Pulse has to do a USD appreciation of 5x out the gate, while PulseX remains at just 1x. It just stays the same. So that's like, do you really think Pulse is going to outperform PulseX by 5x, especially considering all of the liquidity it's going to have extra compared to PulseX? Meh. Yeah, it's you have to think about it in that term. Like, if you're trading it, that's a bad idea early on, in my opinion. 1-to-1, maybe trade it. Like, then you can be like, all right, I didn't lose anything. I'm just getting the other one, because you would have done that anyway, right? 1-to-1, go ahead. Like, anything else is like, you're locking in a loss. You have to understand that. You have to think Pulse is going to do this much better than PulseX, like, almost like in perpetuity. So let's see what we got here. Smash the likes. Yeah, everybody hit the likes, hit subscribe if you're not subscribed already. But yeah, hit the likes, helps the algorithm get the word out. I really appreciate all you guys. Let me see here. Oh, yeah, I already showed you like the SHIB and whatever. So yeah, the max, like if when SHIB and ETH gets harvested for the Pulsex AMM bot, it's basically going to, it's only going to put around $150,000 worth ish of liquidity there. That's a very rough number. And so even a guy who owns $5 million, which is all of the SHIB currently in the liquidity pool on Uniswap, that guy can only withdraw half of the pulse in that pool created by the AMM bot, and that's only worth $65,000. So there's not really that much that people can withdraw from the free airdrop. So I don't think it's going to be terrible for price, like all this free airdrop stuff. I originally thought it was going to be like a lot more, but I also think I think we've already like in the one private chat we talked about slowly releasing liquidity over time for the AMM bot instead of like dump it all at once and put it in the pools and then someone can extract max amount of pulse. Why not just do it over time and add it? So there may even be less available, and so if they were to dump, they would get less pulse and more slippage and stuff like that. So if they were just planning to dump anyway, it's like, well, you get less. So we have little ideas in place. Black Eagle says, talk about how ratio swapping and vampire attack mechanism, how it works for ERCP and how to bring that. Didn't I already answer? He's asking the same question. I guess the incentive token, if that's what you're considering the vampire attack to get like lots of liquidity and stuff. Here, could be. Oh yeah, here one quick thing here. If you guys are doing any trading, you're using like Uniswap or something, or you say you trade through MetaMask swaps, I wouldn't recommend that. You can get the best order execution by going to matcha.xyz. Let me go up here. Oh, this is the website. It uses the best routing and goes through all the liquidity pools. If you go to matcha.xyz, it's the best place to trade. You get the best deals. You get the most out of your trade because it goes through all the liquidity pools, including 0x, which is actually huge. 0x protocol API, it allows you to reach liquidity that's not even on chain. You get liquidity that's, people have like these hidden limit orders and they're from like centralized exchanges, and they're like, hey, if someone wants to buy this on a DEX, I'm willing to put this up through your API on 0x, and I will fill them at this many millions of dollars, because they're usually big private traders, like market makers, and they will set up these basically hidden limit orders that you can get zero slippage sometimes if you're right where one of those 0x guys wants to fill and get the trading fee. They want to get all of that because they're making the market. Then you can get like zero slippage sometimes by using Matcha. So, but that's usually for like very, very large orders. Like they're like that. Then 0x will come in and they'll be like sometimes 50% of the trade is from that hidden market. So be sure to use matcha.xyz if you want to get the best trading execution and the least fees. You can also set limit orders here. Yeah, I think the higher volume the trade is, the more likely it is to hit. Like if you do, I want to limit order $1, it's never gonna hit because no one will make money. And it's also, I think it's gasless. At least as far as I remember last time I used it. So you don't even have to like put up any gas to initiate the trade. So pretty sweet. Oh yeah, the guy was talking about, let's see. Yeah, the incentive token. Who's Mobility Mark? Why would he get a? Oh wait, okay. Who do I? Brizology is gonna become a moderator. Who else wants to be moderator? Need some more moderators up in here. Do. Davis, gang. Let's see. And thanks for hitting the like button, guys. BKP. Oh, just stopping by to throw a like on the vid. We'll catch up later. Keep up the good work. I always say his name wrong. How many? You can't put this many consonants in a row, brother. BPK Das Bomb. That guy makes the bomb spreadsheets. I use them in my earliest videos. I was like, yo, this is the best information I've ever seen. Who makes it look so beautiful like this? For the PulseChain and Pulsex sacrifices. That's the guy who created it. So, yeah. Thank you, BP. All right, let's see. We got a thank you, Mike Robb. He didn't throw in a message, but I very much appreciate that, sir. Yeah. All right, Briz. Get rid of the bad people, because I heard that on my other streams some people were spamming stuff and I didn't have any mods, so I was like, oh, I should probably get on that. Anyway, let's see. Oh, you guys, I want everybody to understand, like, these projects are they're gonna be around for years and years and years and years. Uniswap has only been around for like 2 years, 3 years. Yeah, like 2 or 3 years or something, and they did $1 billion worth of fee generation in its like infancy. You think that number is going to go down? You think it's going to go down as more and more adoption comes and trading and decentralization becomes the norm? Owning parts of this is like owning parts of like Manhattan in like, I don't know, 1900s or something. Like, yo, this stuff is going to appreciate like mad. You don't have to already be making it. Like, you don't have to trade like crazy, do a bunch of risky stuff. You just dollar cost average in. Putting in like, and Rags to Riches says this all the time. Like, if you put in $50, don't think of it as $50. Think of it as putting in like $5,000, $50,000, because that's the type of returns the stuff becomes. Like, we all hear about Ballet at Brand, and he got in on like the day that it was like the lowest price, and he put in like $100 and it turned into $1 million. Do you have $100 you can invest to just become a millionaire? That's impressive stuff. So whenever you're putting in even small amounts of money, you're gonna see this appreciation. You just have to wait. You know, this current time we're in is just like a rocky time in crypto and also like the whole world currently. But it really doesn't matter if like the whole world really goes to crap, because we have the stuff that is censorship resistant. Like, no one can come and turn it off. The bank accounts they can turn off, your social media accounts they can turn off. So owning this stuff before everyone is aware and understands the value of this stuff is super crucial. That's the most important thing. Because I think I looked up the MetaMask unique users. Like, there's only 1 million unique traders of using the Uniswap swap feature. They have like 21 million downloads for their wallet creation or whatever, but only like 1 million of those are using swaps through MetaMask. Like, imagine in just a few years from now, I can easily see that 10xing, 100xing, and the way Metcalfe's law works is like the value of the network grows as a function of the participants in the network. Like, one fax machine is like, all right, that's useless, right? That's completely useless. There's no network effect. Who can you send anything to if no one else has a fax machine? Okay, well, you have 2 people. All right, it has some use case. 3 people, that's pretty useful. You can send it to 2 people. 100 people, you've just magnified it like even more so fold the value you can create, because there's so many more interlocking options now, as opposed to just you to one guy. Now it's you to 99 other people, and that guy out there to 99 other people. It's way better, and it's even more powerful when it comes to like actual money being transferred. And when you have unstoppable crypto, that allows you to do everything else that you need done, like in the world. You don't have to beg and work with this like corrupt old system. We're starting to like almost branch off with like, we're thinking about building our own country because everything else is so terrible. We can transact in the future using unstoppable currency. People are going to see the value in that because everyone else's currency is getting wrecked currently around the world. Yeah, holding this stuff long term is the play. I wouldn't worry about making crazy trades. Like, I wouldn't recommend pre-bridge trading unless it's 1-to-1, and it's because you're literally instantly locking in a loss no matter which direction you go. I wouldn't recommend doing that. I would wait for some USD value to actually show, grow some legs, and we get some realistic valuations for this stuff. That's my thoughts on the pre-bridging. Let's see, we got any questions in the chat? Other than what do I think about crypto A and B? This guy asked, did I claim Pulse D? No. I did not. Yeah. Alright guys. I gotta get going. I gotta talk to my sister, and then I also got to I gotta hang out with some people tonight, so thanks for stopping by, everybody. I'll try and do this a little bit more often nowadays, especially since we're getting close to PulseChain launch. Don't forget to like and subscribe, comment down below, and check out all my videos showing you how to use testnet, because it's gonna be like mainnet. Do you want to come mainnet and you're like, how do I connect to Pulsex? Like, no. You gotta know how to use the stuff. Also, I even have videos with like obscure issues, like, oh, why is my transaction failing? What can I try to do? All you gotta do is follow along in those videos, and you'll learn the stuff, and you'll know what to do potentially when mainnet comes. I even have a video showing you how to add custom contracts that aren't showing up in Pulsex, but exist. Because if the coin doesn't show up in the list, like if you're like, let me trade Mintra, oh, Mintra's not here. If Mintra's not here, oh, well, it is there, because I added it. 1 second. I'll make it smaller. But yeah, if Mintra wasn't here, what would you do? If you're thinking in your head right now, oh, I wouldn't know what to do. Well, then that means you gotta watch my video, and I'm not gonna go over it here. So yeah, you guys gotta. It's going to be valuable for at least like this information of how to use this stuff. You can't just put it off, or you're missing out on this huge, crazy opportunities. One last thing is, let me show. Actually, I wonder what these farms look like. Oh, the APYs are still huge. All right. Wonder if they're constantly being updated, but yeah. There is likely to be way more pools than this. Like, we're going to see 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 different pools, and you're going to choose which ones you want to do. Yeah. Maybe I'll make a video on the Pulsex Pulse pool, because you know how I was just saying that 1-to-1 wouldn't be bad, and people are locking in a loss if they were to trade it at like 5-to-1, 2-to-1. They're instantly, if you do 2-to-1, you're down 50%. That's the facts. USD value, unless when the bridge opens, the USD value of Pulse has 2x'd the price of Pulsex. So yeah, if it does stay similar, this might be like a super awesome pool to be in early on. But we'll see. It all depends, like all this information, you know, we're talking about, when live comes, it's a totally different beast because you don't know what the APY is going to be. Like we don't have, I don't know if we're even going to get that information beforehand, like these pools get this multiplier, this is the emission rate. So it's hard to even figure out what is going to be the best pool beforehand because it all depends on these background numbers, which I don't know yet. So I do believe a lot of streamers are going to have like a launch day. Like if we get a day, we're probably all going to be ready to be live the day it comes out. And hopefully, I mean, I'm not going to commit currently to it, but try and do as much helpful stuff on those earliest days as possible to help all the new people who are, you know, maybe overwhelmed. I'll try and help you guys out with some live streams and videos showing you, hey, this looks like this is working out this way. That means this information. So be on the lookout for that because there are opportunities and important things to pay attention to around launch time. You know, it's not like insanely time critical, but there are, you know, there's a difference between making hundreds of X and only getting like 10X because you missed out on something. So, yeah. All right, everybody. I'm going to peace out. Thanks for watching. It was awesome having you guys here. And see you in the next one. Peace.